So, you want to grow long hair. Guess what? You do not have to buy a single bond building product. You do not need a bunch of expensive crap and treatments and to spend a ton of money just to get long hair, because that is exactly what I did. And I will walk you through my whole routine. Everyone rants and raves about K18 and bond builders, but I'm here to de-influence you. You can grow long hair without them, even if it's bleached. I'm telling you, wavy hair especially is so different. My name is Catherine Page and I talk about all things wavy hair specifically. I have been helping people on Instagram for over 7 years, so follow along if you want all the wavy hair help. So let's jump into the meat. Don't skip this part. There will be timestamps and I encourage you to skip around. However, do not skip this part. This is the whole groundwork for which everything on my routine builds. My whole routine is based off 2 pillars. Number 1, avoiding dry hair, and number 2, protecting it. Whenever our hair gets very dry and crusty, that's when it becomes brittle and it snaps and it breaks and you lose your progress. I truly think that pillar number 1 is the reason that I was able to get my hair so long without any deep conditioners or bond repair products. Pillar number 2, protecting your ends. If you didn't know, the world is actively trying to destroy your hair. Breakage equals no long hair goals. We're gonna go over washing, styling my hair, how I protect my hair. Buckle up. This is about to be a lot of information, but I will have everything summarized in a very pretty PDF little overview. It's $2 as a tiny way to say thank you if you at all found this video helpful. I am trying very hard to make more videos and get this YouTube career going. Let's jump in and start with my washing routine. We are going to shampoo and condition. For shampooing, to prevent tangles, I don't scrub in circles on my scalp. I will kind of smooth it down the shampoo and gently rake it. And I always shampoo twice, of course. Now, conditioner is actually the most important step in my routine, and that is because I don't hydrate my hair with deep conditioners or oils. I do it with conditioners. So this is the most foundational aspect of pillar number 1, avoiding dry hair. For conditioning, I always detangle in the shower. I slather a ton of conditioner on and add more water, and then I will detangle from the bottom up. Shout out to the Unbrush. It is by far the best, most gentle detangling brush for wet hair. Now, this is the key part. I do not rinse out all of my conditioner. This is the thing that gives me hydrated hair without any deep conditioners or oil. I swear up and down, I thought this would weigh down my hair, but it doesn't, as long as my conditioner is very lightweight. Also, I don't leave it near my scalp at all, otherwise it will get greasy. Now, if I don't want to leave in my regular conditioner, alternatively, I will apply a leave-in conditioner while still in the shower, which gives me the same benefits. Keep in mind, this method for hydrating hair is extremely effective, but if your hair is really fine or thin, it might actually be too much for you. If your hair is not bleached or dry, you probably don't even need to do this, but if it is dry, I would at least recommend using a small amount of leave-in conditioner or curl cream while still in the shower. I really cannot stress how much this has changed my hair from being super dry and frizzy. Styling for hair growth. Let's get this party started. I do not style my hair every day. No, I only style it when I want or need it to look good. I have like 3 levels of routine based on how much I care. My all-in routine is for when I want it to like look amazing. And then we have the acceptable routine. I showed that in my last video on my updated drugstore wavy hair routine. Now, my not styling routine. And this is my everyday most common routine. Why? Because it has the least amount of manipulation, it has the least amount of potential to cause damage. That's what we're gonna do today. We'll at least put in a gel because I want you to see how it air dries. This is Camille Rose Curl Maker Jelly. This is light to medium hold. I'm not just raking it. If I raked it, it would get really stringy. So I'm just going to glaze over top. Microfiber towel scrunching. And that's it. It literally takes me about 60 seconds to slather on some gel and scrunch it really quickly. A comment on gels and mousses. I've been using light and medium hold products. I love me some hard hold gel because the waves will spring up and they will actually last much longer. I reserve hard hold gels for my all-in routine when I want it to look its best, because hard hold gels obviously clump your hair and make it stick together. The trade-off for having that hold and clumpage is it's going to cause more tangles. It just is. And tangles are my mortal enemy at this point. We will do anything to minimize tangles for hair growth. But I do love hard hold gels. So I just let my hair air dry, and now it looks like this. It's some nice soft fluffy waves. Here is my potentially hot take on diffusing wavy hair. I do consider using a diffuser putting heat on your hair. Now hear me out, and that is because some of these diffusers out here be getting up to like 90 degrees Celsius or almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. You put that on these fragile little ends, it's gonna do some damage. There are ways to minimize damage with diffusing wavy hair. And also my hot take is that I think that diffusing is more damaging than air drying your hair. I know some people, they're like, oh, but it takes forever, it gets damaged if it's wet too long or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's true, but I have not experienced that whatsoever, and I'm gonna keep air drying my hair 90% of the time. But anyways, for when I do diffuse, I want to, of course, minimize damage. The most damaging way to diffuse your hair is called pixie diffusing. Pixie diffusing is where people take the ends of their hair, you know, the most fragile part, the one we want to keep on our heads. You stick it in the most hot part of the diffuser and they scrunch. So this is pixie diffusing. I minimize damage by diffusing the top part. I use this method called cup and hover method. I didn't invent it, but you basically take your hand and you cup it and you lift it up. And then you put the heat source up here towards your roots. The roots are always going to take the longest to dry anyway, so you want to get those done first and be the most gentle you possibly can with these ends. It seems kind of obvious that the less heat you use on your hair, the better it's gonna grow. I will still use a curling iron. I will still blow out my hair, use a hot tool every once in a while. I do think that if you are using those things every day, multiple times a week, then yes, you are destroying your growth progress. I might heat style my hair once every 2-3 months just for fun. Make sure to use a heat protectant, and I just make sure to not do it very often. Anywho, I will about my day whenever I am ready for bed. I will show you what I do to protect it at night. I am so tired. Someone tell me why I'm filming at midnight. I should be asleep. But anyways, you know, I'm always talking about protecting the hair, and the second most important thing I did, and it made one of the biggest differences, is the most simple thing, and that is just using a bonnet. The satin pillowcase is great as a backup, but by itself, I don't think it's enough. You got to use the bonnet. Think about it. You are on this pillow for hopefully 8 hours a night, and if there is any kind of friction, that's 8 hours of friction, and it might seem small, but over years that builds up. It makes a big difference in the quality and the lengths of your hair. Remember, the world is actively trying to destroy your hair. So let me show you my bonnet. It is extra long. I love this bonnet. You need a bonnet. I have a short one too. They both have little adjustable band thingies on them, which is fantastic. But I really like my extra long bonnet. If I want to keep my waves somewhat intact, I will just do a high ponytail or a pineapple, as the kids call it. A pineapple, if you don't know, is just like a very loose bun, and it's usually consists of just one loop, and that's it. This is all fine and great, but honestly, the majority of the time, I just leave it down in the bonnet. My hair is so heavy, it gives me a headache to have it in any kind of ponytail whatsoever. So, put it on, I just gather it up, crunch it in my hand. Oh, I'm sure that was beautiful. I am so cute and ready for bed. This singular change alone has been one of the biggest contributors to my ability to grow long hair, even though it's bleached. So I'm gonna go sleep, and I will see you in the morning. We have a visitor. Good morning. I am looking rough just for you. This is my day 2 hair, and as you can see, it's fallen a lot. It's very normal for wavy hair. This is what I do with my day 2 hair. We got 2 options. Number 1 is put it in a protective style, or number 2, refresh it. Anytime I am chilling at home, not doing anything, I don't care what my hair looks like, it is in a protective style. For me, 99% of the time, that is a braid, but anything like a bun or just anything that gets your hair out of the open and protects those ends is gonna work just fine. I really think that has a huge contribution to my hair growth and length retention, because anything that causes friction, causes tangles, is going to cause breakage. Things you don't even think about, like your hair rubbing on the back of your clothes, blankets, pillows, the backs of seats, your car headrest, the wind. It's not like a single day, it's just a cumulative effect that is going to, over time, contribute to hairs breaking off. Today, I'm gonna refresh it. I'll show you how I do that when I want it to look nice, so let's go. Welcome to my bathroom. Again. People ask all the time, what do you do about tangles on day 2 hair? And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna emphasize gentle detangling. This is how I refresh my hair. It's basically some combination of water and a teeny tiny bit of product. If you don't really know what to use as far as a product, just go with a mousse. That's your safest bet. I got this one by Cake. That's what we're gonna use today. I got this cute spray bottle, but I think spray bottles cause me more frizz on day 2. I prefer to get water on my hand and do this number. This will also gently detangle a little bit, just with my fingers. Not like full detangling, but it gets a little bit of the tangles out. I'll get a little bit of water. The amount of how wet I get my hair is based on how wonky it looks. If it's like totally ruined and it looks terrible, I'm probably gonna get it very wet. If it just needs a little bit, I only get it damp. I'm not gonna get it very wet today. Wow, isn't this fun? Filming in the mirror. You can see the front of my head and the back of my head at the same time. So fancy. Gentle detangling. If I had used a hard hold gel, I would not be able to run my fingers that easily through it. It would stick together too much, so that's why I like my medium to light hold gels these days. So we do a little product action. That was really bad. So then I kind of just glaze it over the top, and I'm gonna work it in. And of course, that's really all I do, and I just let it air dry. You could diffuse it, but I don't care that much. I'm just gonna go run some errands today. So we'll go get dressed and show you what it looks like, and we're ready to go. These are my results, and I'm gonna go about my day. I actually have CrossFit tonight, so I'm probably gonna have to wash my hair anyways. Here's what we got. It looks pretty good. This is where Arla sleeps every night. Are you so cute? We are gonna go run some errands. Also, if you are someone who wants to wear your hair wavy, but you can't get it to look good to save your life, I am so excited to share that I have created my first ever guide for wavy hair specifically, and I poured my heart into it. If you are trying to wear your hair wavy and you have tried curly hair tips, you bought 12 new products that didn't work, that was me too. It looks stringy, it looks terrible by the end of the day, then this guide is just for you. I go and I break down the most common issues with wavy hair with super easy fixes, what to try first and what to try next if it doesn't work. It's a problem solving guide. I wish so badly I had something like this starting out, because I could have saved hundreds of dollars on hair products. I thought if I just found the right one, then my hair would look amazing. Well, as it turns out, you have to know how to use the hair products, and it's different for wavy hair. If you want to check it out, it'll be linked below. It would mean the world to me. Regardless, I hope my channel helps you love your hair, and now it's time to go run some errands. Then I will show you how I protect my hair working out and what I do with sweaty hair. We are gonna go to work out. Alright, I'm very late for CrossFit. Always put my hair in a braid to go work out. Currently, I'm going to CrossFit 4 or 5 times a week, which is actually fairly frequent for me. As for how I deal with sweaty hair, I just wash it. As long as I'm using a sulfate-free shampoo and doing my conditioning method, then it's fine. It doesn't get dried out. So I usually just wash it, even if it's several days in a row. Ready for CrossFit? Like, we gotta give hair products to CrossFit, friends. I went to CrossFit and I just washed my hair. I put a ton of this in it. Giovanni direct leave-in. I'm gonna be chilling at home for the rest of the evening. We're gonna do my no styling routine. I'm just gonna scrunch it. And that's literally it. I'm gonna chill at home for the rest of the night. This is how my hair air dries with no product. Good night. This is Editing Catherine. To fill in a few gaps, yes, sometimes I do actually wash my hair several days in a row like that, but otherwise I don't wash it every single day, and maybe about once a week I will do my actual wavy hair routine. I show that full routine in my last video, my updated drugstore routine. We gotta cover some juicy topics like how often I get my hair bleached and cut, also supplements. So let's go. How often should you get it trimmed, and how often do you get it colored if you get it colored? For me, this is actually counterintuitive, but I had to put the scissors down at home. I now only get professional haircuts. When I say professional though, I just mean anybody that's not me. Walmart is fine. I don't trim the length of my hair at home. This is because whenever I did that, I would just wreck my progress. I did it way too often. I couldn't help myself. I thought it was only taking off the tiniest little bit on the ends, but over time that really built up and it was more often than I thought, and I had no self-control. Maybe you have more self-control, but I don't. I really go about 4 to 6 months in between trims depending on my goals. If I'm looking to just maintain my long hair, I'll do about every 4 months, and currently, since I'm trying to grow out my hair even longer, it's been 6 months since I've had a trim. I really should though. Trims are important. They really are. And bleach and color. Bleach is definitely the most damaging thing you can do to your hair, and mine is quite bleached. I'm not telling you not to use bond builders. I'm not like anti-bond builders per se. I'm just showing you it's possible without bond builders because I never use them consistently. I get my hair bleached about once, maybe twice a year, and I only touch up the roots. We are not touching these brittle ends. I try to request that they be really careful to not overlap the bleach with any previously highlighted areas as much as they can, because that's really where the breakage happens, is when you get that overlap and it snaps off from up here. Everything I've talked about to this point is about keeping and protecting the length that you do have, but I do think there is one supplement that has maybe actually helped my growth rate. I bring you here to my medicine cabinet to talk about supplements. I honestly do think that supplements are the least important part about this entire video. I do think the ones I take at least help my hair growth a little bit. But in general, I'm very cautious about sharing anything about supplements because anything you ingest is going to carry a lot more risk than something you're just putting on topically. So I take MSM supplements. MSM is methylsulfonyl-methane, and it is actually marketed to help with joint support. It contains sulfur in it that is supposed to help with connective tissue and cartilage. Now, I do actually take this for my joints as well. I do actually get a lot of like joint pain in my hands and fingers because I have chronically picked at my skin and nails for many years. I do think that this has helped with my joint pain, and I do think it has helped with my hair growth. I have taken this for well over 4 years now. This is in no way, shape, or form a quick fix. Hair growth is not a quick thing in general. It is not a magical pill. There is no magical pill. While supplements are a very small part of this video, they are a part of it, and I do think they've helped. That was probably information overload. I will have everything summarized in a very pretty PDF little overview. If you are someone that's not even sure if you have wavy hair, I have a whole video dedicated to how to find out if you have wavy hair for $0. I have a whole shorts playlist on just styling tips to help you learn how to style and love your wavy hair. Of course, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Oh, wait. Most important part, I told you we were gonna make this a tradition at the end of the video. I'll be right back. Come on, baby. She's the love of my life. I will see you next time.